Hi everyone, today's video is going to be about movies I've seen so far in 2024 from January to March. My original idea for the video was going to be about movies I've seen from January to June, half of the first year, but I underestimated the amount of movies I saw in April. So for now, this video is just going to be about from January to March. Starting off with January, I ended up seeing a movie called Society of the Snow. Unfortunately, I don't have the DVD, but they have it on Netflix, which is where I saw it. So with Society of the Snow, I ended up seeing it 2 times in January. The first time was with my cousins Cindy and Nino, and the beginning with my mother, but she left halfway through. Cindy said that it was really good and extremely heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. It'll keep you at the edge of your seat. And so I said, okay, put it on. And she was right. This is one of those movies that makes you think, okay, what would I do if I was in that situation? And if anything, I'll leave the trailer link in the description box down below because I don't want to say too much or spoil anything. But yeah, this is definitely one of those movies that makes you think about, what if I was in that situation? What would I do? What would I say? What would I be thinking? It's a good movie to watch. Even if you just watch it once in your life, it's really good. So moving on to another movie I saw in January. It's a movie called Paterson, which came out in 2016. I won't lie, I didn't get a lot of the poetry. Maybe it's one of these movies where you need to see it 2 or 3 times to kind of get it. But then again, I'm not really into poetry, but I thought the movie was really cute and adorable. So if you're into poetry or romantic movies, I recommend Paterson. So moving on to a movie I saw in February, which is Good Luck Chuck, which came out in 2007. For as long as I can remember, I've always heard of people talking about Good Luck Chuck, and I've always wanted to see it. So in February was my first time watching it, and from what I can remember, it was really funny. There was about 2 parts where it genuinely made me laugh out loud. I don't think YouTube would appreciate the quotes that made me laugh. Let's just say it was very inappropriate and a bit nasty. Now on to the movies I saw in March. And to start it off, I saw the movie Armageddon, which came out in 1998. And on the same day, I ended up watching a movie called The Day After Tomorrow, which came out in 2004. So what I remember about that day was that I was spending time with my grandmother in the living room. I don't know what channel it was on, but I remember that they were giving Armageddon first, and then the movie right after was The Day After Tomorrow. And I was so surprised that my grandmother knew both of those movies. And the reason why I was surprised was because my grandmother's very religious, so I thought she wouldn't like those movies, especially Armageddon, you know, about how it's the end of the world and stuff. But she surprised me because while we were watching it, she was like, oh, is this the movie where this, and this happened? And I'm like, yeah, Grandma. I was like, wow. I was like, I was not expecting that. And of course, Armageddon, the ending makes me cry. Even though I've seen this movie like a million times, it still breaks my heart every single time. With the movie The Day After Tomorrow, I was really happy to watch it because I haven't seen that movie in such a long time, and Jesus, maybe close to 10 years. And I was just so excited to rewatch it to refresh my memory on what the movie was about, because I remember bits and pieces, but of course I don't remember the whole thing. I was happy I was able to watch both of those movies with my grandmother. So the next movie I saw in the month of March was Practical Magic, which came out in 1998. And what can I say about Practical Magic? I mean, it's a magical movie, it's a beautiful movie. And while I was watching it, one of the thoughts that came into my head was, oh, I have to show this movie to my niece Gabby. She is going to love this movie. Practical Magic has an amazing cast. The music is just absolutely beautiful, stunning. This is going to sound weird, but I don't know why. Whenever I hear the music from Practical Magic, it brings tears to my eyes because it just brings me so much happiness. This movie is just so magical and just so beautiful. So on to the next movie, and it's Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which came out in 1990. When it comes to the fight scenes in Lionheart, they are just so badass and so cool. And of course they have one character that's kind of like the comedic relief, if that's what it's called. The name to the funny character is named Joshua, and Joshua was just so funny. So I think his character in Lionheart would just fit in perfectly. So on March 23rd of 2024, I ended up having a little sleepover with my niece Gabby. So of course, I showed her the movie Practical Magic, which came out in 1998. And I also showed her the movie Can't Hardly Wait, which also came out in 1998. And when we were watching Practical Magic, all I kept thinking was, oh, I hope she likes it. And thank God she liked it, she enjoyed it. So I definitely can't wait for Practical Magic Part 2 to come out so we can see it together. So now on to Can't Hardly Wait. This movie is just so funny, especially Seth Green's character. Oh my God, there's this one quote that he says. It goes something like, oh baby, please. And then he also says, you are far... And then he also says, you are far too fine to be looking so sad. But it's the way he delivered the line that just makes me laugh every single time. That Seth Green quote, I've seen it like from time to time on like Instagram, you know, like on memes and stuff, but I've never seen the full movie of Can't Hardly Wait. So when my niece and I were watching the movie for the first time together, I just was so excited to see that part. I didn't know when it was gonna come. Once I felt like my favorite quote was coming up, I said, oh Gabby, this is my favorite quote. And then he delivered the line and I just couldn't stop laughing. So I was so happy and extremely grateful that I was able to see Can't Hardly Wait for the first time with my niece. And if you're looking for a great comedy movie, I highly recommend Can't Hardly Wait. So on to the day after our sleepover, which was March 24th of 2024. I believe that morning we ended up seeing the movie Scream 2, which came out in 1997. I remember I wanted to show my niece Scream 2, 3, and 4. So when she came over, I thought to myself, yes, this is the perfect opportunity to show her Scream 2, and then hopefully the next time I see her, I'll show her Scream 3, and then hopefully 4, which is on the top shelf somewhere. So anyway, going back to Scream 2, I remember I told my niece, I said, okay, Gabby, the ending for me was a bit heartbreaking. No matter how many times I saw this as a child on my VHS tape, the ending just always broke my heart. And she was like, really? And I was like, yes. To me, it's very sad. So now on to the last movie I saw during the month of March, which was Heartbreakers, which came out in 2001. Now, one thing I must say about this movie is that the casting was just fantastic. Each character had their own comedy. Each of them were funny in their own way, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like I was saying, each one of them is funny in their own way. Each character was just so freaking funny. And I love Jason Lee's character bickering with Jennifer Love Hewitt's character. I mean, they're both sarcastic to each other and it was just so funny and so cute at the same time. So Heartbreakers did not disappoint me when I watched it for the first time in March. And I'm sad that not a lot of people talk about this movie. I mean, I feel like this movie should be a cult classic. It's just, in my opinion, really funny, not boring at all. So hopefully one day this movie will become popular and more people would know about it, or more people would talk about it more often, because this movie does deserve some hype. So that's it for today's video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, that really helps out. And don't forget to comment if you've seen any of these movies, what you think of these movies, if you like them, if you don't like them, if you hate them and don't care about them, please let me know. And I hope you guys have a great and safe day, and please stay safe out there. See you in my next video.